Hey guys, so I just started learning how to use these gates. Basically I made a system out of a bunch of autarchic gates, and it's like a really smart, simple system to control my input to my item slash ore processor. So I'm not gonna explain how to make these gates because it's a long process kind of. You have to use this assembly table. But anyways, all I've been using so far are autarchic gates, and they are amazing. Basically, you can put them in these transport pipes. So, for example, this is just a sandstone pipe that I have in the middle, kind of. Basically, they just control logic for lots of different things. So, what this is doing? First of all, I showed this trick in a previous video, in like my previous video that I did, I think. If you put a redstone energy cell next to a wooden transport pipe, it'll pull items out. So that's how I'm pulling items out from my quarry or anything else that I put in. Watch how fast it is. It uses as much power as it needs to because of the system that I set up with gates. So this is a thing I dug out with my turtle a couple days ago. This is my tank room. I'm just gonna get some items so I can dump them in and show you how it behaves. That's my new biofuel tank, but that's for a different video. That's for my normal videos. This is a tutorial and demonstration. So watch what happens. See, this is linked with this chest over here. So watch how fast it pulls out a stack. See, that's at 1 MJ per tick. Basically, 1 MJ per tick will pull out one item every tick, which is 20 per second, I believe. Yeah, but of course, there's some server lag, but I think that's approximately how it is. And you can also increase that rate, so you can change it to 5 or something, and then it'll pull out stacks even faster. So, and this is actually at 1 MJ per tick. It had like 400,000 MJ like 10 hours ago. So seriously, it lasts forever. All this energy, and this system that I have, it'll put charcoal into this Stirling engine when it's out. So let me explain how this works in order, the way the logic goes. So first of all, this thing pulses. The way this works is the event that it detects is if there's items in this inventory. So if anything enters this chest like this, then this is on. And then basically the reason it's toggling on and off is because the quarry puts a block in, this pumps it out, then it's empty, then it turns off. So it's really quick. See, now it's back to the quarry only. So now it's just going to be toggling on and off. Let me see if I can get a good visual on it. But okay, see on the right side this wire that's blinking. Watch the numbers. See, when the redstone signal is on going into the redstone energy cell, it outputs power, but when it's off, it doesn't output power. That's because in these redstone options, I clicked this one. You have to click the on redstone torch, and that should make it say signal required high, and that'll make it not output power until it's receiving redstone. And then you just need a gate attached to your ender chest, or if you use an ender chest, that just basically says if there's items in the inventory, then output a redstone signal. Then you just got to connect it to the energy cell, which is next to your wooden pipe. So this pipe that has a gate in it doesn't have to be wooden. This isn't going to actually pump anything out. And make sure that if you do use wooden, it's not actually connected to anything, because that would actually it might pump stuff out of here from something else that you're not expecting. So I would actually recommend using sandstone pipes because they don't connect to anything, which is what I've done with this one. But it's not a big deal. You can figure out whatever you have in your inventory at the time, or whatever's cheap. So you figure out, so you know how this works now. You understand how this can pump out items and turn off when there's nothing coming into it. So eventually this thing's gonna run out of power. What this system does, it doesn't actually look at if this thing's out of power, but this pipe will check if this inventory fills up. So if this thing runs out of power, it'll stop pumping items, which means this thing will eventually slowly fill up, and as soon as something hits this final slot, then it'll activate this gate which says inventory full and turn redstone signal on. With this redstone signal being on, it'll send power up this way and to this gate. This gate says if the redstone signal is on, then it'll give an energy pulse every like half second to this wooden pipe, which basically pulls out some charcoal, sends it to this Stirling engine, and powers this thing. Immediately it'll pull out stuff from this, and that'll make this thing turn off, so it'll stop outputting redstone and stop pumping charcoal. So, but you'll probably get about like 10 charcoal into the engine before it actually detects that it's full, or that this thing has gotten energy back, I mean. So this gate up here is not anything, it's just a source of a redstone signal, basically just like a lever. But I didn't want to put a lever right here because it would be powering this, and there was nowhere really to put anything, so I just put a gate up here that basically says output a constant redstone signal no matter what. This basically acts as a redstone torch because it says if the redstone signal is off going into it, then output a redstone signal. That's exactly what a redstone torch does. So that's all that is. This doesn't do any logic. This is just a constant redstone signal to keep this turned on, so it'll instantly burn any fuel that comes into it. Alright, that's not it, but that is most of it. The only other thing, on the other side of this, you might have thought about this already, but what happens when this is filled up, and in that 10-second window when the coal is coming into this thing, what if there's still items being put into this and dropped on the ground, and don't want to waste anything. You could be getting some iridium right there, and then it drops, and then you lose it forever, and you don't even know. But anyways, so the way I handle that, to protect from that 10-second window when it's possible that something might not be able to enter this chest because it's full, what I do is on the other end, the server's to myself, so I can go run to my quarry and not feel bad about lagging the server for everyone. So basically what I do is I disable this engine that's powering this quarry if the inner chest fills up. And it just takes one single gate right here. Normally what we had before this was just a lever constantly keeping this engine on, so it would be constantly running and constantly putting stuff into this. This is the same ender chest that's being emptied at the other end. But instead of the lever just constantly powering it, we just have this thing where it says if there's space in the inventory, then do redstone. So basically, if this thing fills up and we're waiting for charcoal at the other end to get through the system, then this thing will turn off for like 10 seconds and it'll stop this engine from putting more items into the chest until there's more room, so we don't drop any items. Because it doesn't take long for the charcoal to get some more energy into the cell. As soon as the charcoal hits the engine, it's going to be running, and it'll pull items out. It'll pull a stack out instantly, almost, in a couple seconds. So it really will clear itself out fast as soon as it detects that it's full, and that's just the best way I could do the logic. So yeah, that's all I wanted to do for this video. Hopefully that makes sense, everything. Let me just show you all the gates again. This one, and I'll explain briefly, but this is all what you've already seen, so feel free to leave the video if you already understand it all. This is just detecting if there's items in this inventory adjacent to it and outputting redstone signal. Redstone signal comes around to power this redstone energy cell, which is set on high signal required. There's another gate that has to be adjacent to the ender chest that says if the inventory is full, output a redstone signal. Redstone signal has to connect to a wooden pipe that's going to pull charcoal out of an inventory. This wooden pipe has to detect redstone signal being on and use an energy pulser to again pull this charcoal out. And this charcoal, I put it in last night, like 10 hours ago, like I said. This thing had 400,000 MJ. It hasn't ran out. It's still using that 400,000, and it hasn't even touched this charcoal. I don't know how much MJ one charcoal gives, but I think this is gonna last forever. So anyways, so this goes into the energy pulser to pull out the charcoal, and that's pretty much it. This, you just need to give a constant redstone signal to the engine. Actually, no, there's no options, but yeah, you have to give a redstone signal to the engine. So either use a lever, a redstone torch, or just another gate next to in the pipe that's set to output a redstone signal. So hopefully that makes sense. Just a bunch of Autarchic gates. They are amazing. You can do so much with them. So if you have any questions, just post in the comments and I will respond. I always respond to any questions. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed and learned some stuff. See you next time.